question still about what's going to take place with respect to the, what is it, 68,000, or what was the amount on that sleeve that the city's now having to manufacture?
I can answer that. Well, I can tell you, Madam Mayor, that the invoices have been sent to the vendor for their review and submission of the payment. I don't believe we have received the payment just yet. They're still reviewing all of our backup documentation for all of the expenses.
And this invoice it's first of all, just so I understand this, the invoice was sent recently. In other words, there was no invoice that was sent in the past, even though we've had a hole in our wall for a couple of years now since the wall was completed, correct?
The invoices were sent a few weeks ago.
Okay. And originally, this was on the onus of the Lady Atlantic, or the owners of that operation, to engineer and have the sleeve made, correct?
I think I would have to request from Missy to chime in. If
Missy Barletto's got her hand up. If we can go ahead and recognize her and let her speak.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. The original agreement was for the owners of Delray Yacht Cruises to work with the engineering firm to create that solution. The original design of the seawall at Veterans Park included a no gap in the seawall and an ADA accessible ramp that put the entrance onto the Lady Atlantic too high for people to be able to access their boat under normal conditions. And we agreed to re-engineer that that particular opening with the understanding that the accommodations that we made, that they would be responsible for protecting the park from flooding and that sort of thing. In addition to putting in some additional pilings for them to be able to dock their boats securely and safely. A lot of those things did not happen before the closeout of the Veterans Park contract for a variety of reasons. We picked those items up in the city marina contract. They have been, for the most part, accomplished now. We are in the process of installing the slide gate into the Veterans Park seawall so that will be secure from this point forward. And the invoices have been submitted to them.
So just to be clear, that was never going to be an additional expense on the taxpayers here, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I just want to make sure my colleagues are clear about that. I don't have a problem with supporting the one more month of you know, and this is a big give. I mean, you know, we haven't had payment now from what point? Is this a full year, or is it 3/4 of a year now?
It's like March, maybe.
March. So we're going to be at a year, 12 months. So so I just want to make sure that my colleagues are aware of the fact that we also have an additional outlying payment that is due for you know, what we did for our seawall to accommodate, and also the pilings to accommodate the Lady Atlantic at their request. This is something that should not be falling on the taxpayer's back, period. So I would like an update at the next meeting as to what the response is to this when we get one from we should be getting one hopefully in the next month from this outfit as to how they're going to handle this invoice. Deputy Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm curious as to how we are treating some entities in the city when we are having our residents come in with a payment type plan. I'm just, you know, we should have some kind of clear rule across the board. I think I suggested at the last meeting that we tack these payments at the end of the pandemic that you owe us. We're recovering, like it or not, mask or no mask, open or unopened, and eventually, I believe, as you just said, I'd add to your comment that eventually they're going to start, hopefully, prayerfully, making, having their business resume, and we're not doing that for our residents. Just forgiving. We're adding on to their requirements that they pay.
This is true, but at the same time, I want to also mention that there are other businesses that we have given a forgiveness of their rents or lowered them even in the CRA district tremendously, because we don't want to see businesses go under, and we also don't want to see, obviously, situations where residents can't afford something because they are now having to pay. We understand that it's a balance. It's a balancing act, but I don't know that this is outside of what we have done for some of the, the businesses that the city is responsible for collecting fees on. Ms. Alvarez, you have your hand up, and I believe, I guess Deputy Vice Mayor, you just spoke unless you want to speak again. Ms. Alvarez?
Yes, thank you. I thought I would clarify on the record, Madam Mayor, based on what you were saying. The excusal that is before the commission tonight is only for the portion of the contract related to those monthly fees and not related to any other contractual provisions in the other contract where they're obligated to reimburse the city for the repairs.